These are residents of Tuan Dole. Tuan, Old Anthonian, captain St. Anthony's College in 1972 and represented Havelocks as well as Radalla and Dikkoya in rugby and both in cricket. Let's go and meet Tuan and find out what's his memories from back in the days in Sri Lanka playing rugby and cricket.
I joined St. Anthony's in 1958. As a young man, my two brothers were there, Farouk and Majub. So I was the third one to join St. Anthony's, and I can remember my college days when I was taken in. It was only free for the third child, no school fees till my elder brother left. After that, we had to pay 5 rupees school fees. And then I went on like that, and my brothers were all good sportsmen. Watching them, I thought, okay, one day I will become better than them. So that's how I started my life in St. Anthony's. Well, we had very strict principal, Father Robinson, and then from Father Robinson, then Father Rosati was before that. And then Father Aiden came in, and I was there till I left college in 1972. Father Aiden was very strict disciplinarian, but also very fair man, thorough gent, and a very good priest. During the rugby season, we were in the boarding. We were kept there so that our master in charge, Father Elred Samarakol, was the main man behind this rugby scene. He insisted that all of us stay during rugby camp days, and other days also we were tolerated in the boarding, and we were given good food and looked after very well. My elder brother was a very good athlete. Watching him, I thought, I must also do that. He was a very good sportsman. So he was the inspiration for me. That's how I got into athletics. I was doing the 100, 200 relays, and then I went to pubs also. We did the Central Province run also. Ended up in St. Peter's College grounds, only the public school sports meet was held, and that's how I did the athletics in that run. Actually, rugby, I can remember Father Elred Samarakol. He was the man behind rugby scene. He, in fact, in 1967 or 66, he started a small group of boys for under 14, under 15. So we were all drafted in because my elder brother was playing for Kandy Lake Club. So we were drafted in, and from there onwards, he groomed us. Our coaches was Maurice Pereira, then Maurice Silva, who was an excellent coach, and latterly Lucky Vitarana. They were our coaches. But in 1966, I can still remember Father had organized matches, and then we had to play Trinity under 15 or something like that. And then those days when we talk about Trinity, we get a little worried because the boys were in Trinity College, huge people and tough fellows. But anyway, we played that match, and I can still remember we played a nice game, and there was Tiron Rosairo. He was a hooker in the team, and then funny incident where there was another guy called Roger, we used to call him Roger. Roger Solomons, who gave him a slap. And then we all got worked up. With that in ourselves, we thought, oh, one day we'll give them the works. And that's how the rugby in St. Anthony's came up. In 1968, I was just captaining the second 15 when I was watching this match. It was a brilliant match. This Trinity College had some outstanding players, but still we were coached in such perfect manner that the first 15 held Trinity for a 3-all draw. The second 15 we lost some 15 points to 6 like. But we were getting closer and closer to our goal. Those days Trinity means 50-60 points. So we were slowly getting into the groove of making the deficit so little by little, So that's how I can remember of 68, but that was a very good side we had with Nanya Kara, Rana Singh, Kudus, Ramzan, Patrick, Errol Nuguela. We had some tough boys. They had a very nice big side, very famous people in that side, but we held them for a 3-all draw. I can remember all those crowd that was playing. It was fantastic. Rugby. 69, I was in the first 15 squad.
Okay.
And John Henry was captaining. He was playing centre. And I was in the second 15 side. But then we went to play Isi Patanga in Havelock Park. And then all of a sudden, Mary Gunaratna, who was our fly-half, fell sick. He got high fever. And then Maurice Silva came and said, Tuan, get ready to play. And then I was wondering how to negotiate the Savangan brothers, and there was a number 8 called Chandralal Fernando for Isipatana. They were the deadliest tacklers ever the schools had. But then I was thinking about this match, and then I told the scrum half, Peter Cotlin, Machan, you pass the ball as fast as possible. So anyway, Peter did pass the ball, and my first centre was John Henry. So the moment I get the ball, I pass it out and go round John Henry and collect it again. So John Henry was getting the works from the Savangan brothers. And then at one point he's telling, don't pass the ball, you bucker. And it was such funny, but I couldn't help. I had to save myself. So I passed it to him, go and collect it round, and we did our work. Then even when I met him in Australia this time, I was telling about it and laughing. So that was 69. Then I continued playing. 1970 was a good side we had. We normally didn't give any fixtures to Kingswood, Vidyartha, Dharmaraja. We never give, because our father will say, okay, we'll play a small side. And anyway, it was anything above 75 points we are getting. So anyway, that Peter Cotlin's side was very good. We had, but still, when we played Trinity College, we, got a little, we didn't perform well. So we lost the game, but in overall, it was okay. But in 1970, we, couple of us went for trials, outstation school trials. And then I can remember Tikiri Marambe was there, myself, Irwin Hovey. There was, very powerful people. But then the outstation school side was chosen, and I can remember Quintin Israel, who was handling matters, came and told Boris Silva, my coach, put Tuan centre and put Irwin fly half. So it was Tikiri Marambe, Irwin Hovey, myself. I forget, Veerasingham was there, Trinity College Veerasingham. Rohan Kulatunga was another winger, Trinity College. Centre I forget, but So we went down to Colombo to play in 1970, outstation schools versus Colombo schools. Colombo schools had a very tough side. I can remember my cousin, Hafi Abdeen, Rizanur Rajab, Raja Karuna, Veerasingha brothers from St. Thomas's, tough side. But ultimately we played the match in London Place and I had a fantastic match and we beat the Colombo schools some 18 points to 5 or 6 or something like that. So it was a fantastic match and I can still remember the paper cuttings that came out, Anthony and Tuandol match winner at that time. So that's how I got the momentum in that. And then after that we played combined Ceylon schools. Then when the team was announced at London Place or a dinner, then names are read and it came now Erwin Hovey is a top player, but then they said Tikiri Marambe scrum half, Hafi Abdeen fly half, centre Tuan Dole, Rizanur Rajab from Isipatana, the other centre, Siyantha Rajakaruna on one wing and Rohan Kulatunga on the other wing. With I think Renganathan, our Silinko chairman, was fullback. And we had to play combined universities. And those days when you talk about combined universities, universities had the best players. Dr. Omar Sharif, Dr. Lakda Silva, then Lakda Disanaik, I think. And then I told about S.U. Mendes, no? And they had a fantastic side, but still we beat them hands down because our side was really class side we had that 1970s, you know.
Combined schools.
Combined schools. Those days it was called combined schools, but actually it's Ceylon schools because most of the cream were playing. And mind you, it's not like nowadays. 15 went into the field, 15 played the game, and 15 came out. There was no reserves and nothing. If somebody got injured, that's the end of the story. You have to play with 14. So that's the in 1970s that was. So it was a fantastic season, especially for me. Actually, we had outstanding players at that time. I mean, all these, as I told you, Father Samrakun groomed boys from the bottom. So everybody played the way they were taught to play. And it was very interesting because we knew each other's strengths and weaknesses. And we played to whatever we were taught to play. So unfortunately, there were matches that we lost during that season, but still, I think we had a very good side with Steve leading the way there, and they were all talent in the side, and they were going to be there for the following year as well. So that is where they counts very much. So anyway, we had played. Although we lost to Trinity, the main target was Trinity, but we lost to them. I forget the score at that moment, you know. But it is overall, it was a good side. Yeah, I played second 11. That's because Father Aiden came and told me for the prize giving, there is an outstanding student award. You have to play one more game. So that's how I went and joined play cricket under Mr. Muttalib, our coach. And although we were tough boys, cricket was a different game ball for me because here comes a leather ball at a speed, and when it's not like the rugger ball, but when it knocks on your body, then you get your pepper up, you know. And I can still remember we were playing St. Thomas's Matale, and I was going down six down, and we were about 210 runs, and Kalu, my friend Kalu, was on 100. So when I walked in and they took the new ball, my God, there was a dark fellow, I don't know what his name was. He was coming, at me. I just managed to swing the bat, top edge and 4. Then only I was very happy about it. But that was my cricketing. I got my baptism, but I continued playing second 11. The style was, all were talented boys. There was nobody can fall sick even, because there is one fellow ready to get in there. And once you get in, that's it. Nobody can push you out. But the cricket side also same. Similarly, Father Samarakon was in charge of our games, prefect of games. He groomed everybody from 14 years. That is how our sports became very good. And he knew each one what he is capable of. That was the beauty in Father Samarakon. And his main idea was to beat Trinity one day. So that every time he will tell us, you all, whatever you all do, you have to one day before I go from here, you have to, where we were groomed up, So all, even Charles, even CPP, although he came and played rugby, he was a good cricketer. He played for Ceylon schools, CPP. When Tom Dilogli and all those boys came, he played with Bandula Varnapura and the cow Dulip Mendes. He was very good. I don't know why he didn't continue. Actually, Morris, even now I'm in touch with him. I go and see him when I go to Australia. He is a tactician. He will tell me from 14 years, if you are in doubt, look at me. And he will give a signal. You do this, you do this. So similarly, when it came to my season in 72, unfortunately he had to go to Colombo, and we were given another coach, Lucky Vitarna, who is also a very good coach. So Lucky Vitarna taught us how to hit the opponents, how to bully the opponents, because I think Lucky was an army guy. So that training also was useful to us. So I can remember my side was having very good players. We had to get Christopher Anderson, who was a basketball player, then Clive Fernando, who was a basketball player, and Clement Fernando. Clement Fernando is the elder brother of Johnston Fernando, and we had to train each individual on their subject. Lineouts, not like today where you are lifted, you have to jump for the ball. So the hooker was Tyrone. He has to do his exercise, 100 striking, 100 left, 100 right. I was very confident with my teammates. They were really good. Each one knew what they have to do. And I was actually, I was the playmaker. And I will tell them, okay, you want to rest, and I will give a booming kick to touch, and then they will have a breather. In the same way, where goal kicking was effortless for me. I was taught by Mr. Morris Silva the toe kick, not football kick, the real rugby kick. And no school will give any penalty this side of the 50, because from the 50, for me, it's effortless kicking at goal. That was this thing. And with all my rugby season when it started, I got the best results for the O levels, and it was announced at the assembly that the rugby captain has got 1 D, 3 C's, and 4 simples, all 8 subjects in one shot. That gave me much more courage. And my teammate Christopher Anderson also got 6, and Shane Balthazar, who didn't play but he was a supporter of us, he also got 6. So that made matters very easy for me, because life was easy at home also, because my father is a very strict man. So if you don't pass the O level, you're in serious trouble. So once I had to go to the A level class, he was very relieved. And job opportunities for me was effortless. I was called for interviews, Air Force, Army, Police, you name it, I was been drafted in, because we were very well disciplined boys. And that 72 side, I'll tell you, the best game I played was with St. Thomas's. They had Rajpal Samarasinghe, their skipper, and then they had the Spelvin brothers. Then Renganathan also played. They had some very, very good side, and they came to Nittavala, and we were all ready. And you know, Quintin Israel is one of our main enemy, but still he is a good man. But when the match started, they broke Vaidyaratna's hand. So we were playing 14 and they were playing 15. Then those days you can't put a reserve in. Then I just told my wing three quarter Rajaguru, Macha, opponent එකක් මම දානවා carry on එකක්, ball or without ball, go and tackle the ball. So who was underneath? Their wing three quarters, Spelvin. Rajaguru went and gave one stunner. The chin broke into two, and he was also carried out. So ultimately we played 14-14 and we won the match 2016. Super! It was a fantastic match. That I'll never forget that match, because both sides were very good. But whoever used his brains were the best, who won the match. So that was one area. Trinity College game for me also was, we were brought in jeeps, and you know, the crowd was stunning. And you know, even the Thomian game, the crowds that came to watch our games was stunning. So anyway, match started and we only was thinking of 1 point. But we very well knew that we are going to thrash these guys. And we ended up winning the game 11-7. They also had very good player. Unanthan was okay, and then there was Asoka Balasuriya. He was a very good centre. I don't know why he didn't continue playing rugby, but he was a very good player. He's the guy who scored the only try for them. But for us, we only wanted 1 point. So, you know, the match ended up with a penalty on the corner, and it was effortless for me to put it over from the corner flag. So it finished, and then we had a fantastic evening, and then we were the only first side that went on tour to India, this entire team. And we were in Madras and Trichy, and we played a couple of games there with the local sides, and it was very nice. And we had something like 17 dinners after the 20 match. My God! And every time the boys knew what my speech was going to be. One dinner I will say sumptuous dinner, next one I will say delicious dinner. So they know, no, today is sumptuous, tomorrow delicious. But that was it, and it was very nice. And then that 72 side, most of the guys, I'm very sad. Clive Fernando has passed off, Shanmuganathan has passed off, then Karunatilaka has passed off, Kalu Perera has passed off, you know, but they were really good. They knew what they were doing, and every school was frightened to play with us. The main target will be anyhow get that, don't allow that guy Tuan Dole to move, nail him as he gets the ball. But they could catch me. Nobody could catch me, because I was 200% fit, and I will run round everybody. And this particular St. Thomas's match, I must have another incident. they were taking a kick at goal, about 45 meters. And then I was under the post. And I told Shamunathan, Macha, you wait in my right. I told Jeffrey Paul, my other center, you wait here. Ball is coming to me. So the ball came exactly to me. Then I said, Shamu, I'm going to do a scissor with you. I'll be running straight inside the pack. So I ran straight in, and at that crucial minute, Shamu came from inside. I gave the ball somewhere around 50-meter area. Shamu, like a butterfly, went under the post. That was a fantastic move, in that match. And anyway, 16-20, St. Thomas's also played very well. I must tell that. And that was a bit. And then the time went by, and then I was invited by Maurice Silva to come and play for Havelocks. So I went. I used to go for practice on Mondays, Wednesdays, and for the matches on Saturdays. It was a tough side. I think J. Rodriguez was captaining, I think. And then Jeff and Dan were my centers, Lal Silva, Harin Fernando. Very nice club season we had when I played for Havis. I captained the outstation schools that particular year, but then combined school, Ceylon schools, I could make it to the team because I was being drafted into planting, and then I think Viratunga captained the side. So I went for planting, for creeping to Hidagala group, Namanukula. So with that, another chapter started.
Right.
Well, one of the attractions that I liked in Havelocks was the socials there. It was fantastic because at that time all the burger girls were there, and after the rugger match it was a fantastic evening, dancing, singing, and those are memories that we will never forget. That was rugby, and although you play rugger, there are rugby songs that you have to learn, which I still know. But nowadays, if you ask any rugger player, do you know a rugger song? They won't know anything. They'll know only Jol Banana. That's all they know. Or some stupid thing. But actually there is a rugby song book, and when we were in college, Mr. Maurice Silva will play the piano and we have to sing those songs. So when we went to play for clubs, we were maestros singing that. Like things like Diana, Diana, Show Us Your Legs, Sweet Violets, and the whole thing. But now I don't think that is existing unless when a foreign side comes, they know when we start singing, this guy is a rugger player, In fact, yesterday when I was watching the TV, that lady in the parliament's name was Diana. So I was telling Diana, Diana, show us your legs, show us your legs, show us your legs. Diana, Diana, show us your legs. I had above your knee. Now my coach will say, a rich girl uses Vaseline, a poor girl uses lard. But Diana uses Axel grease because her ding dong hard. Things very humorous songs, So those are that is when we start singing, when we put a couple of shots. The Havis crowd was a very nice crowd. I liked the Havis crowd because they were, fun-loving people. That's why still I'm a member of Havis. I played for Candy Sports Club because at that time, Candy Sports Club, was struggling. But still, I can remember one gentleman, Mr. Veerasinghe. He is the owner of the Queen's Laundry. He will come and tell me, Tuan, මේ Saturday අපි Havelocks ගහනවා එනවද යන්න. Then I will say, මම තාත්තගෙන් අහලා කියන්න. But I come. So we come to the we were living at Malabar Street. So I will walk early morning at about 5:45, come to Queens, and then all the players will be there. And we'll be put into the 6:30 or something, there's a train. And we'll go from there, bus it to wherever we are playing, wait under a tree, eat lunch, play the match, and night 8:10 night mail we are back at home. So that was Candy Sports Club. So but still we enjoyed it because, and there was no payments and all. Only we get a good breakfast in the buffet car, 2 eggs and 3 pieces of bread with bread and jam. That's it. And then we have lovely lunch, light lunch, and then play the match. The night we have a heavy dinner and laugh and come, whatever.
So you played only for that, not for money?
Not for money. What money? We don't even ask. We are feeling shy also because we were not used to that because we played for the love of the game. That's what rugby is all about. But nowadays it's completely different. I must also tell, when I started my career, Dr. CDL Fernando was the first person who gave me a pair of boots. An Indian pair of boots. So when it gets wet, that one leg to lift is about 10 kilos. The boot is all leather. My God, it was terrible. But still, it lasted. And then my sister, who was living in England, in 71, I think, sent me Elmer Cotton's real rugby boots, which was just 8 ounces in my leg. And after wearing that Indian heavyweight, this was like nothing for me. And only for matches I used to wear those Elmer Cottons. And I don't know what happened to the boots after my season, college season. I think I gave it to somebody else. And that's how it was,
From rags to riches.
Yeah, so I still remember this Dr. CDL. He was very good. You have to just ask him, and he will provide it to you. Before I talk about that, I was taken on a holiday to an estate called Great Western. Great Western, and one of the another estate there was Galkandavatta estate. The chief clerk's son was boarded in our next door, and he only told me, let's go for a holiday to the estate. And I can remember from Galkandavatta estate, there's a shortcut through Wangioya, and we used to come to the Radella Club. And at that time, it was around about 1969, 70s. It was fantastic, this club, and I used to think, it's lovely to play in these grounds and blah blah, and dream about it. And then in 72, our first practice game was with Dimbulla in Radella, organized by Mr. Yasa Ratnayaka, and we were kept there. And it was a nice, difficult match with this Roger Da Silva and Peter Amarasinghe and huge planters playing, but still we beat them and we were very happy about it. So then coming back to this planting, so I was interviewed by commercial company, Uwa Highfields, and I was taken into planting to Hindagala Group Namnukula under Mr. Duncan Scobie, a Welshman, bachelor. He was in Cyprus War, tough nut, playing for Uwa. So I went and reported to him straight from college. From all the activities, I put in the train, and here I go to Bandaravela, and I get down, and then there's a jeep with a driver, and he comes and asks me, are you so and so? I say yes. Then he says, I'm from Hithagala Group, I've been asked to pick you up, sir. So anyway, I get into this, and from Bandaravela to Hithagala, it's about 10-12 miles, and those days I'm not used to these winding roads. Anyway, went. So I was there, and I'm wondering, after being in the city, suddenly isolation. And those days there is no TV. And my boss had a small tape recorder. And then one day he asked me, Tuan, do you like to listen to music? I said, yes, sir. Then you can use that to see he's having Beethoven and Mozart and all these classical things. So anyway, I said, no, sir, I'd rather listen to the radio and while away the time. Then after that, I started in Helbode. My first billet was after creeping to Helbode Estate. And there I was junior ST there. And then my boss, Ravi Vikramasinghe, was my first boss. He said, you can go for raga practice to Kandy Sports Club. So I used to come, and I was given a time to go for practice, I think twice a week or something, and then Saturday there's a match. So Mr. Vikramasinghe was transferred and came one of the strictest bosses I ever had, Mr. Jayanthi Sarathwatha, who was a Sri Lankan raga and fly half. So then when I asked him, sir, can I go and play for Kandy? Yes, you can go for practice at 4 o'clock. Go for practice and come back by 7 o'clock and give me a ring. He was such a strict man, but still I followed that. And then after that I was transferred to a venture group, Norwood, where I played for DMCC with Malin Gunatilaka and some of the guys who were there, senior boys. Anyway, that was nice playing with it, and very stiff club. Everybody is, you have to maintain everything. And then subsequently I came to Radella. When State Plantation, I came to Radella in 77. And then I had to come to take over the property, and I was told to come to the club. So when I went to the club, as usual, there was a cricket match, and Radella short of 2 players. So Mr. Yasa Ratnayaka, Mr. Vernon Tissera, Mr. Ralston Tissera, massive big people. First thing they asked was, have you got a white pair of slacks and a shirt? I said, yes, sir. Get into that, come. And they were playing Sara Trophy. So then I also started playing straight away match. I was anyway batting at 8 or 9, but still I qualified as a Sara Trophy player. Then after that waited in this club, and the club boy was one Usman from Navalapitiya. I can still remember this guy telling me, sir, planting molta avata, mela transfer la avata, sir metana avilla bonde epa. Sir metana avilla අනිත් මාත්‍ර වගේ බීගෙන නිකන් සවුත් වෙන්නේ නැතුව sir games ගන්න. So there was a billiard table, there was a squash room, badminton room, tennis court. You know, this guy made me play squash. He taught me how to play squash. He taught me how to play badminton. He taught me how to play snookers. Because the club was in my division. So when I put a field round, slowly I'll come and practice. Like that, I mastered that all the 4 games, and I quietly moved up to ground secretary, and then quietly moved up to bar secretary, then secretary, then president. At that time we had a very nice crowd, I must tell, and all the prime young planters were there, and they knew what they were doing. And club day was Wednesdays, and after 2:30 you can't be in the field. If you are not there in the club by 2:30, it's not just for drinking or anything. Club is a place, I was told by my boss, you go there and you exchange ideas, because one estate will have more plants, you will be less plants, you can buy them, you can find out what is happening, what is the labor problems, all that is the place to discuss matters. obvious they will have one drink, but I was a disciplined guy, I will only drink after a match, not every day I don't drink, that's not my system. So anyway, that gave me a lot of, and my one boss I must mention here was Mr. Sangakkara, that is our cricketer Sangakkara's uncle. I worked for him for 6 years, and I'll never forget, his favorite drink was arak and ginger beer, all arak and ginger beer. I had to drink with him Friday, Saturday, Sunday, play the rugby matches, play the cricket matches, and drink with him this arak and ginger beer. So what I do is I put 25 arak, top it up with ginger beer, and I'll sip for hours and hours. When I don't like, I'll throw out. When he's going to the toilet, I'll throw it out. But that was a very nice training I got with him. He was an intelligent planter. And then the day I was going on promotion to Udaveriya, my farewell party, I told him, sir, from today onwards, no more arak and ginger beer. I have never drunk after that. From 1983, no arak, have ginger beer. Very strict when we from the start we were groomed. I worked for another boss called Mr. Van Dias. We were taught how to maintain things, how to come on time, then the discipline, you have to dress properly. You can't be like nowadays. They don't come to the club also. Here, every Wednesday by 2:33, you're there in the club, playing your games. You have to play some game. You have to, if the cricket practice, you practice cricket. If you are rugby practice, you are practicing rugby. If you are playing tennis, you play tennis. Now that is one place I learned all the games, because I used to think, after subsequently I was transferred to Robgill Estate into Dicko side again, but my affiliations were with Radella. So one day this Dicko club will have a tennis meet, and I can see all these kabbas nicely dressed with white shorts, nice tennis kit, and playing tennis. Then subsequently I thought, okay, I went up to the organizers and said, I want to play tennis. You put me over to the novices section. So they knew that I don't know this game. They put me to novices. I thrashed everybody. And then subsequently, the next year, they are telling you have to start off with 2 shots. That is, I am minus 30 to start off. So then I go to the opponent and say, yeah, we'll start off 0-0. Why I have to give you 2 points ahead? 0-0. And then that's how I did tennis also. Where cricket was concerned, we had Sunil Jayakodi, Vijay John Pulle, Dhyan Caldera, Dan Madawala, then Tony Gunawardena. I have a photograph where I took the entire team to the Maldives, the Radella team. The photo is there in my this thing. Then Lalit Parnavitan. We had some fantastic cricketers. And then where rugby was, we had young, my latter stage we had all young, Suresh Navaratna, Leon Fonseca, Johnny Daniels, all. And then when planting and when people were not coming to play rugby, I encouraged my labourers to play rugby, because Radella labour knew about rugby. And one match I can remember, we put the Talevar, Tangai as wing 3/4. He was a good athlete. My God, somebody came and tackled him, and the entire labour force went to assault that player. So I had to intervene and say, no, rugby is like you can't go and hit people. It was like that funny. But now I was training all the, there was a Perumal they are playing, because we are short of people, You might as well educate the labourers to play that. That was one part of exercise we were doing, But nowadays, I used to go and watch that Club Sevens, this interplantation sevens. I called it the slowest sevens I ever seen in my life. Everybody is walking. I think a retired referee can referee the match easily because it's not fast. It is just slow motion. So, but anyway, planting in our era was the best, I can say, But because everybody comes to the club and there's activity, there's a tea day, there's a club night, very nice. You can travel. Now I have been in that Norili district for 25 years, in that only district. So I know, in fact, they wanted me to contest Nanoyo seat Pradesh Sabha. I said, no, nonsense. Because as an SD from 1977, I was in that place only 3 years. I went to Hapudale and then back again to Norili, Edinburgh Estate. I was manager for 8 years. Then from there only I took off to Robji. But still I used to come. But when I was in Udaveri also, which is the jungle, I will come to Radella Club, play the match and go in the night through Horton Plains. I will stop in the jungle and watch, my driver and I will watch sambar, leopard, wild boar, and then only we go. It was fantastic. I captained upcountry. I played Kappa Cup for many years. That also was very, very nice. I have some photographs of that. Dicoya Club was a real British club. If you've been there, it's a fantastic club. And there were very good people there planting. Niall Borlas, then there was Malin Gunatilak, Haji Vikramasinghe. All sportsmen were there. So they got involved in sports activity. And the tea day in Dicoya was Tuesday. Very nice tea they'll give, And in the latter stages of when I went back to Fordyce and Robgill, they will never miss Tuandol's tea day, because although the tea is only standard tea you're supposed to give, that is pol sambol, chicken curry, bread, butter jam, tea and a piece of cake. But Tuandol will put my real Malay babat pittu, katta sambol, and everybody will look at the board. My God, today is Tuan's day, and they all come to have a nice feed. Though no dinner, no, everything is given. But that club is, when you compare with Radella, Dicoya club is a little stiff club, But Radella is different. Everybody is the same. Whether you are superintendent or SD, everybody is the same. They treat you different. Every Tuesday, somebody is allocated. That is, 2 SDs are allocated to give tea or 1 superintendent. So there was a big competition for these food things. But the main thing was the planters there, all the wives were in the estate. Not like nowadays. Wives were there, children were in the boarding, and they did a grand job. And then latterly, Dicoya couldn't find players. So we had to put a team called Dim Dicks. And that is part Dicoya, part Dimbulla, and we had to join them and play in the B Division League. Now, mind you, all these clubs were A Division, fantastic clubs when Chris Bean, all these famous guys were playing. Even Ken Murray playing for Dimbulla, Ken Murray, Larry Shockman, Noel Kanakasabe, my God, the names are fantastic, and they won the Dimbulla actually won the were joint champions, I think, for Clifford Cup. Very nice sides we had. But now, unfortunately, I don't know. The recruitment of planters are now not rugby players or anything, no, they are only working and their wives are not there, and I don't know what is happening. Actually, I feel very sad that things have got out of hand. But I think they are still having Tuesday their tea day, and rather less saying on Wednesday. But I was told that by Gunaratna, the bar boy in Dikkoya, when I asked him, "Komada Gune, me club සර්ලාගේ කාලය වගේ නෙවෙයි දැන් මේගොල්ලන් පොල් බෝතලයක් ගෙනලා මේ ෂැන්ඩි විතරයි ක්ලබ් එකෙන් ගන්නේ මේ ඒක තමයි වෙන්නේ මෙතන ඉතින් ක්ලබ් එකේ බාර් සේල්ස් නෑ ජින්ජර් බියර් විතරයි විකුණන්නේලු so poor state of affairs but what to do. So when I was the ground secretary there, Zimbabwe came for a 3-day game. New Zealand came when Sir Richard Hadley and all toured. And I was one of the architects of that ground's expansion. Thanks to Mr. Honorable Gamli Dissanayake, who helped us in giving all the equipment. We made the ground into a circular ground. And actually, I think first New Zealand came for a 3-day warm-up match. That was a seller. There was a big crowd, but we could have played only 3 days. Only 1 day we played because of the weather. Similarly, Zimbabwe also only 1 day we had to play because of the weather. At that time, Bandula Varnapura, Dulip Mendes, that type of people were playing. So it was, and the catering part and whatever said and done. It was international style. It was done by our ladies, Fantastic when you say they really enjoyed. They were staying at Hill Club or Grand Hotel, the players, but they had a good time. Then from there, then quietly we had to take over. After that, from ground secretary, then became secretary, and then started taking over responsibilities because the senior superintendents are moving out or retiring. So we took our turns, and then I became president there. And then we tried to develop things like now, for example, cricket. Then I became the Norelia DCA president, Norelia District Cricket Association. We had 2 Division 3 matches like TRI, Grand Hotel. We had some clubs there, Dimbulla, Dikko, everybody had, we played Division 3 matches. And we were getting things organized. Then quietly, when time went by, I found that my team consists of Trevor Nugubala, Harin Costa, who was the general manager Grand Hotel, Rohan Kulatunga, we all got scattered. And then there was no replacement guys who can do a job. And then as president, I started the Interplantation Sevens rugby, then six-a-side cricket tournament. I started that for the companies, so that every activity is happening in the club. And then subsequently, Dikko came and asked us, can you give one tournament to them? And that's how the Plantation Sevens were given to them, and we are hanging on to the Cricket Sevens. The organizing capacity is lost now. Nobody is there to get things going, because I don't know now. We also were planters, we worked, our estates were running in profit, everything, but nowadays I don't know what is happening. Simply, you go to the club, you will find 3 or 4 people on a Wednesday club night. I'm told the dinner day per month, they all are coming, but I have never seen, such activity when we were there. That was class. I got married to a Maldivian lady. And she was first time she came to the estate when I was the ST in Radalla. And we have two daughters. Elder one is a gyno specialist working in Maldives for Indira Gandhi hospitals. But she started at Hillwood College, Kandy, and after qualifying, she was put to Young Ace Hospital, and then went to Jaffna Teaching Hospital during the war times. And then I thought this won't come right, and she was shifted to Maldives, and she's there.
What's her name?
She's Shahnaz Dole. And I have another daughter who also was in Hillwood College, and she's now in Copenhagen working for Vestas. She is the financial analysis for Vestas. She's there, and so our job is traveling there once a year, seeing them. But I go to Maldives quite often because of this corona. I have not gone there, but yeah, operating through our computers. But other than that, every month I'm in Maldives for 10-14 days checking on my business, what is happening there. Because rugby has given me so much of satisfaction and things, pleasure, I thought I must give something back to rugby, and I was involved with the rugby union, I think about 25 years. But I don't think they are going forward. They are going on the reverse gear only. So this year I opted, enough for the day, and I'm in the Referees Society. I'm one of the senior vice presidents. Even that, I think very soon I must think about it also, because now I'm doing a farm in Kotagala. That's about 15 acres vegetable cultivation with a nice bungalow, and I'm spending much of my time there. And there's 30 acres of tea as well. It is much better than now. Enough the young guys have to take over and either make it or break it. We will watch from outside, and if there is anything I can do, which I have been doing, I will give them some support. That's all I can do. But like what I'm doing to college, whenever they are in problem, they ask something, I give it. That's it. Yeah, I was OBA president for 3 years. Our term is 3 years, and did my part of duty. And now I'm the vice patron of the OBA. Wow. I go occasionally for meetings and shout at them for not attending various things. But we are trying to keep things moving. So I am even KDC. I am one of the vice presidents, Kandy District Cricket Association. That also now we are started various tournaments, but Corona has come and blocked the whole thing, and everybody's don't know what is happening. So that is the crux of the matter.
Okay, Tuan, before we wind, would like to take your view on, or rather your learnings, if you look back in your life, from starting from Kandy, from St. Anthony's College, and you achieved so much of success, gained and contributed so much to sports in Sri Lanka, various clubs, be it Kandy, be it Havelocks, be it Radalla or Dikkoya, and of course you had a stint at the CRNFC as well.
Yes.
Your learning from school life and what you learned, the message you would like to share?
In whatever you do, you have to be a very disciplined person. Okay, you can play the fool, but when it comes to work, when it comes to business, you must be thoroughly honest and full disciplined person to carry out what you learned. Otherwise, nowadays I am very sad to say, people are going behind money. Anything is cash, which I am not at all bothered about it. I feel very sad that this is happening, but where I am concerned, well, I am self-sufficient. I can donate whatever I like to donate when I want to a good cause. Otherwise, I am not just going to dole out things to people who are having a carnival at my expense, you know. But discipline, always discipline. If you have no discipline, sorry, nothing will happen. That is the, we have been taught discipline in school, we have been taught discipline in plantations, and we still continue that discipline. You know, on time we'll do things, everything is on time, and there's a method to anything, otherwise it will never happen. Now even today, I left at 6 in the morning from the farm. It's a nice farm in Kodagala, and I came because you all are coming, so I was on time. Now with my busy schedule, but still, if I give my word, I will stick to the word.
Thank you, Tuan. It's a pleasure having you at Quadrangle to share your knowledge, your experiences, your memories, and I'm sure some of your teammates, your compatriots, your opponents, your friends would enjoy this, as well as some of the young ones will take heart what you had to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you for coming and interviewing me. All the best.
Thanks.